Wow, that was quite an opening, and I'm so excited to be back. And yeah, my hair looks a little different. I have, of course, Bruno Hair Salon. I keep bragging about my boys in Brooklyn, but I can't help it. I got a haircut, and I feel like a different woman. I was born, I cannot say the year, but what the hell, March 27th. Okay, with Alice March, we have to open up to our beautiful guest, Alice March, writer from The Attention Factor.
Yes.
Right?
Born on March 27th.
March 27th, I tell you, and of course, Attention, Secrets for Making It in College and Beyond. This is quite a title. Let me tell you, you know how to catch people's attention, do you?
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, of course you do. Of course you do. Of course, we're so crazy. And of course, our musical guest, Ana Louise here. Isn't she beautiful?
Yes.
And Larry, thank you very much for coming by.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a full house. We're very close. This is a closed studio. So it's kind of like a different feeling, but it feels good. I want to thank my sponsors. D'Amico's, the best Italian specialties. The coffee gets me hyper. I cannot sleep at 12 o'clock. I go to bed 2 o'clock in the morning. It's not too good, but hey, I'm doing my job. Madonia's Brothers Bakery, Quinton Bailey with Fluff and Stuff, Caterina Lancova, and Bruno Salon and Spa. Okay, are we happy now?
Very.
Yeah, so we can start talking about you, Alice. Can we do that?
Yes, we can.
I was checking you when I was doing my homework, getting ready for this interview.
Yes.
And just doing and reading what you've done. All the work about attention, attention, attention. How, as a human beings, we need attention.
It's our primary need.
It is.
Yes, everybody's.
And women more than men, or men more than women. How does it work?
The entire human race.
The entire human race?
Yes.
Why?
Because that's just the way it is.
Is human nature?
Well, yes, it's human nature. You know, when children are put into orphanages, they are fed, they are clothed, and they are sheltered. But they die because they don't get the kind of attention they need. So it's really our primary need. They die because they're not held, they're not touched, they're not talked to, and they wither away, just like monkeys do. Same.
Believable.
Yeah, they grab your attention, but you know what? But is attention a sickness to a certain degree, Alice?
Well, it depends. Wonderful question.
Ah, you see? I'm not bragging. I'm just doing my homework here.
If you don't get the kind of attention you need as a child, as a baby, you are on the constant search for attention.
Or approval. Is it the same?
Yes, it is the same.
Okay.
So there are people among us who have bottomless pits for attention. They can't get enough and they can't feel it.
Right.
Because there's no experience when they're babies at the appropriate time to feel it and grow out of being like this, I need it all, to discovering who the people are who give you the kind you need. That's a very important element.
I see.
And if you don't get this, then you're always on the hunt, on the quest.
But I think all of us were in the hunt, are we?
Well, the purpose of being healthy in adulthood is to learn how to give it to yourself so that you aren't hunting for it.
Interesting.
And also asking for what you need. You know what happens, for instance, when you're in a relationship and you expect others to know what kind of attention you need?
I love when you said that we have to rediscover to be in touch with our own
Absolutely.
needs and how it's a process of
It's a process from from childhood to adulthood. And our needs change from time to time.
Oh yeah.
You know, what you need when you're 20, you may not need when you're 25. You'll need other things.
Right.
But it's up to us to discover what they are and then tell people. You know, we keep it a big secret. I don't want you to know what I need.
Right.
Well,
That doesn't work. If you
Interesting.
really loved me, you'd know what I need.
Well, I mean, my husband loves me to know, but he doesn't have the slightest clue what I need.
Why don't
come on, he doesn't get it. I gotta take you. You gotta come home.
Okay, I'll come home because
you gotta come home because how do you? I mean, men, how do they know what we need? They don't seem to get it.
They don't know unless you have a conversation and you talk about
But
it.
they can't talk. They don't like to listen, Alice. How you make it listen? Am I right?
There's a guy over here.
You guys don't listen, right? I mean,
First thing, you go home tonight and say to your husband, you know, I was with this crazy lady today on my show. And she says that we've really got to talk about what each other needs. And I want to know what you need from me. What kind of attention do you need from me? And if you don't know now, today, think about it
Right.
and tell me, because I want to be able to give it to you, or at least talk about why I can't. This
Right.
is a very healthy communication between partners.
But what about when there's no words? When there's no much communication? But because it's gotta be, right?
There are some people who don't want any attention for a lot of other reasons that I don't want to go into.
For example, like whom?
Well,
I
I know somebody who says, I just want my space. Just
Okay.
give me
Loners.
my space.
Right.
Loners.
Oh, yeah,
I can't be
good.
around people right now. And you have to respect that because that's what they need. Okay, let me know when you want me to come back or when you
Right.
want to talk to me.
Right.
You know, I was talking to a man the other day on the phone, and his daughter came in because this is when kids show up. As soon as you get on the phone, they show up. They want you. And I said, okay, hang on for just a minute. Tell her that you know that she needs your attention right now, but you're on the phone, and when you get off the phone, you'll find her and give her what she needs. And of course, she scampered off, and then after our conversation, he went and found her, and it was perfect. It was just perfect.
Incredible. No, I was wondering about suicide.
Well, that's the ultimate.
That is, I mean,
There is
because
no-
it's such a heartbreaker. So I have a friend of mine who killed himself about.
that is a heartbreaker. But you know
10
what? The
years
signs
ago.
were there.
Right.
The sign they've done emotional autopsies on a lot of kids who've committed suicide. The signs were there.
The signs
before.
were there.
Sure. They
Is it a
act
need for
out.
attention that they do this?
Yes,
Or is it
it's the ultimate. I don't want to say the word on television, but it's the ultimate.
This is it is such a heartbreaker. You know, when I was reading about you and I said suicide is a word that, you know, it's
It is the ultimate.
is just
It doesn't solve anything.
No,
It just-
and it's such a heartbreaker because so many young people
Yeah.
are taking it. You know,
Well,
their
I don't think we're
lives.
doing well. I don't think we're doing right by our young people.
You think the society is crumbling?
Yeah, because we don't recognize, for instance, the educational system does not recognize that not everybody learns the same way.
Right.
So they think if you're a kinesthetic kid, for instance, you got to move around. You do your work by moving, and they punish kids who have to move around. They don't recognize that that's the way some people learn.
So maybe the teachers are not good enough. The education system is not as good as we think it is.
No, it isn't.
Or everything. The problems are back home.
Well, it's both. It's a double-edged sword. But if you know what kind of a kid your particular kid is he visual or is he auditory or is he kinesthetic, then you go to the teacher and you say, I want to give you a heads up about my child.
Right.
He needs visual learning.
Right.
Or he needs auditory learning, or he's all over the place. He can't sit still. But you can't make a child sit still in a seat and expect him to learn if he's a kinesthetic kid. It doesn't work.
Right.
Let him walk up and down the hall. Let him run errands. And
So
say,
what is the biggest problem? If you because you're a writer, what is the main problem of society? What's the problem? What are we lacking? What do we need?
humanity.
Okay.
However, that's not a however. I am so passionate about what I know and what I do that we need to start talking about attention and what it means in people's lives. That it's vital. And if we don't get the kind we need, we'll act out. We have to get any kind of attention. That's why we have epidemics of drug abuse, alcohol, obesity, addiction, gambling. I did a lot of research. Everything I talk about's been researched and documented. I spent a lot of time in the 12-step programs because I wanted to hear why people were in them.
Right.
And people would say the only way I could get any attention in my family was to be the black sheep.
Right.
Or
Interesting.
my mother didn't give me any attention until I started drinking.
But that's
Well,
negative
so-
attention,
There's
though.
negative attention. Yeah.
Yeah, the child had to do negative attention to get any attention.
I see.
Because she wasn't getting positive attention because the mother didn't know how to give it to her.
Interesting, but it's to some degree it's like how you make a relationship work, how you make things. Everybody wants to be happy. Bottom line is all of us we want to be happy.
Well, people are happy when they feel safe and when they feel nurtured and when they feel that they make a difference and when they have a conversation like we're having.
Right.
you can feel positive attention. Now, this is making me very happy to be here and sharing my information with you and to be with you because you've done your homework, which also makes me very happy.
Oh, yeah, I had to do my homework. I was going to look like a fool, you know?
Me too. I did.
Alice, we were born the same day, March 27th.
Yes.
Let's brag a little bit about that.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy because honestly, it's just do we have time with so much economical, times are flying so fast. Like, it's almost 7:45. There's so much going on in terms of economics. It's so hard. It's so hard that it's just very overwhelming for people to really, do we have time to sit down and say, okay, let's fix the problem. Do we need more attention? What kind of attention do you need? How we make it work?
Okay, let me say this.
So many economical problems.
Attention doesn't have to cost anything.
Okay.
And
But it's time.
yeah,
It's time
also,
consuming as well.
Okay.
And
It
people don't have time.
also, you never run out of it. It's a human resource.
Right.
So we just have to learn what to do with it between people.
Okay.
When you give somebody the kind of attention that they need, do you know what they do? Immediately, they can't help it? Smile.
It's true. It's true. How you bring the best of people, because you do with what you're writing. You're bringing the best. I mean, I'm checking your. Look at this. Oh my God, let's talk about sex. Okay, let's keep that page for now. This is getting stuff that attention seekers were making in college and beyond. I mean, you know what you're doing with the titles, Alice. You know what you're doing.
I hope so.
Oh, come on, don't
If
hope.
I don't
You know what you're
I
doing.
never will.
But it's the kind of books that relationships, they're the most important part of your life, so make them a priority. I mean, every single breakdown is about life. You're writing about life
Yes,
itself.
I am. Yes. And I didn't know anything about it.
And you don't know, but you consider yourself now, you consider you're an expert.
Yeah, I had an epiphany over the word. So I went looking everywhere I could find it. Everywhere. And the only way it's really attached is to ADD and ADHD, which of course, if you give these people the kind of attention they need, their symptoms start to disappear.
Well, hopefully
But
that's
then
the solution.
I wanted something else. I wanted to find out what attention was. And I found a story that was written by Dr. Bernard Siegel, and he said, this is the story. A patient came in to have a physical before their surgery on Tuesday. This was Friday afternoon. And the doctor spent an inordinate amount of time with him, just talking. And then he came back on Monday, and they took an x-ray, and the doctor says, I don't know what happened, but your tumor has shrunk. And the patient says, I know what happened. When I was here with you on Monday, you spent that wonderful time with me, and I felt safe, and I felt cared about, and I knew everything was going to be all right. That's what attention is.
Right, beautiful. I mean, I don't want to cut you off, Alice. I mean, you're too good. You see, I can just keep hearing you, and I forget about the hosting.
Well,
and I forget doing my job.
Just invite me back.
I'm going to have you back for sure, but I want to talk about our musical guest, because time is flying. This woman, she's from Sweden.
Yes.
Right?
Beautiful. Anna Louise.
Anna Louise.
I know her from the Bitter End family. She's a regular performer there on Fridays and Saturday nights with Days of Wild. Late night on Fridays and Saturdays.
1 a.m.
Great.
1 a.m.
1 a.m. Well, start time is 1 a.m. Yeah. So I try to make it as much as I can, but if I have shows the next day.
But you're busy too.